The Crusader Conversation, informative, local, and student-focused. The show bringing newsmakers of Valpo University to share their story. This is the Crusader Conversation. Hello and welcome to the Crusader Conversation. I'm your host, Brendan Kinney. On the show, we'll be featuring various students, faculty, and staff members. They'll be highlighting special events and projects around Valpo University. Our first guest is Kraig Olejniczak and is the Dean of the College of Engineering. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dino. As students call you, as I hear, Dino around the university.
Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Well, it's been really exciting, I'm sure, for both you and also the faculty members in the College of Engineering with all the changes going on. So let's begin talking about, I guess, the most prominent change as people see, the Donald V. Feitz Engineering Innovation Center. So we'll begin talking about the planning process and when that all began.
Well, it started off about at the beginning of our last campaign. So it's been a good 5 to 7 years that we began thinking about what we might do to expand the opportunities for our young men and women who wanted to be engineers. And part of that, we came up with an idea for an addition. And when that was presented to my College of Engineering National Council, they actually said it wasn't good enough, and they sent us back to the drawing board. And so then we came up with a master plan for the Gellerson Center. And essentially what that resulted in was not only the Donald V. Feitz Engineering Innovation Center, but a renovation of the existing laboratory wing, which is named after Jim Markowitz, a graduate of our mechanical engineering department. And so that's known as the Markowitz Manufacturing and Project Center. It links the Gellerson Center to the north with the Feitz Center to the south. The Markowitz Center is the link between those two.
And now, who was involved with the project? Were any students involved with this?
Actually, we did not have any students formally involved in the task force in designing the facility, but we did have students involved in giving feedback and asking them for their input on certain aspects of the project. We also have done a pretty interesting thing. We have what's called a campus construction educational partnership where engineering students actually will work on renovations, additions, new building construction on this campus. One of our students worked for Turner Construction, the construction manager for the Feitz Center, and he did a great job. He was in charge of all of the green aspects of the building and subsequently got hired by Turner Construction.
Now let's talk about those special features of the Feitz Center. Now when you walk in, obviously very impressive. It's very open, especially the senior design lab.
Yes.
Where you have a desk for, is it every senior engineering student?
Yes.
So let's talk about those features. I'm sure there's a lot to cover.
Yeah, there is a lot to cover. What we want to do is we want to treat the seniors differently than the freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. So we're actually putting them into an area that's open. It's what you might see in a high-tech business incubator. It's a situation where we force our mechanical engineers, our electrical engineers, and our computer engineers to sit in the same area and to learn each other's language and to kind of fight through the communications that are necessary for each one to understand their part of the project. So it's really a state-of-the-art space. They each have their own seat. Our civil engineers have their own computer because they're going to be spending a lot of time doing their design work on a computer. It's just a very nice area for them to spend a lot of their time.
So what were some of the features as you were thinking about this project and others involved? What needed to be in the building that wasn't currently available to students in the engineering department?
Well, first of all, I should note that the actual project evolved. For those of you who don't know what a green building is or a high-performance building, it's one which has satisfied certain criteria of the United States Green Building Council. And you get so many points for having so many attributes or characteristics. And the lowest is what's called just a certified building, and then there's silver, gold, and platinum. Platinum is normally reserved for organizations like the Audubon Society or the Nature Conservancy. I mean, very green organizations aspire to that high level. Well, we started out with, well, let's just go for silver. And I said, well, we have to do better than that. This is Valparaiso University. This is Valpo Engineers. We got to do better than silver. So we aspired to gold. And by the time the project was finished, or close to being finished, I saw that platinum was in reach. And so I found a staff member within the College of Engineering who put forth the money, over $100,000, to install photovoltaic arrays up on our roof, which would give us additional points to put us into the platinum range. So this building not only has state-of-the-art laboratories that needed to be modernized from the old Gellerson, but has also given us these new spaces like the senior design space that is nothing like they've seen before. So it's very exciting for the students. Nothing in it for the dean, no wet bars, no libraries, no fancy Italian tile, nothing like that. It's all focused on the students.
And it's very evident, that's for sure. And now, let's talk a little bit more about that LEED certification project, the project. In order to get that to the platinum level, what are some other features? I know there's a rain collection garden instead of the rain going into the storm drain.
Right.
So I guess expand on that.
Yeah, I'll expand a little bit on that. It turns out our roof is flat, and so we have a special colored roof, white, in order to reflect the sun's heat, thus keeping the building cooler during the summer. The winter, shorter months, so we're not so concerned about absorbing heat. We do have a rain garden which takes all of the runoff from the roof, brings it down into the rain garden where there's chambers underground that holds the water, lets all of the particulates settle to the bottom, and then that water then goes out to our detention ponds on campus, which then eventually flow into Salt Creek, which then eventually goes back to Lake Michigan. We also have some features. If you'll notice on that south periphery of the building, you'll see these sunshades. There's two sets, one set that's high, one set that's low. And what that allows us to do is have the sun during the summer, when the sun is at a high angle of attack, shining down onto the building, it actually shades the sun's rays from getting into the building. But in the winter, when we want the heat inside the building, the sun is at a lower angle of attack and allows the sun's rays to come into the building. So there's all sorts of things like that, in addition to very high efficiency ventilating, heating systems, high efficiency boilers for heating the water, low volume water in the bathrooms and so forth. So it's just a comprehensive list, which we do have posted in the building so that interested people can stop by and see where all these features are.
What I found interesting too is that no additional parking spaces were added.
That's correct.
And so that just so many things come together to make this a stellar project, and something I'm sure you're very, very proud of.
We're very proud of it. Of course, our College of Engineering aspires to the highest levels in engineering education. The faculty and the staff and I are very proud of our students. We want to give our students the best possible facilities that they can possibly have. It's very interesting that you bring up the parking, because many people don't realize that there's actually the first 2 parking spaces on this campus for high efficiency vehicles are located right across in the parking lot south of the Fight Center. So it might be interesting for some students to go out there and try to search and see if they can find them.
And now talk about the strong wall and what that is in the Fight Center.
Yes, that is for our civil engineers who are interested in structures. It's a special thick wall that was built to use as what we call a reaction wall. So on the floor, we can actually build up a single-story building, essentially, and then we can connect between the floor and the walls of the building or this reaction strong wall and a wall of the building with hydraulic rams that can give compression and tension to the walls, and we can actually test it until it crumbles and fails. It's a real neat option that we never had before.
And so with all these features at the Fight Center and also the renovation of the building as well, it really makes the College of Engineering more marketable, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. We think it's one of the best College of Engineering laboratories in the Midwest. If we're successful in getting the LEED Platinum certification, we may be the first College of Engineering laboratory in the United States to be LEED Platinum certified.
That would be fantastic. Wow.
Yeah, we're very proud of that. So we're anxious and to get all the paperwork in to get that certification started.
But things are looking good.
Very good. In fact, I just talked today to the people who are responsible for installing over 100 panels, solar panels, will be up on the roof. We cannot go for platinum until that installation is complete.
And now talking about capturing the power of the sun.
Right?
Let's move next door now to Gellerson to a building that I just received its outer shell.
That's correct.
And now what technology is in that building?
Very interesting. We call it the James Markowitz Solar Energy Research Facility, or SURF for short. And what it has is inside the building is a concentrating mirror. On the outside to the north of the building will be a flat mirror called a heliostat. That heliostat is controllable with 2 degrees of freedom. It allows it to tip forward and back, so the elevation of the mirror, and then from left to right, east to west, the azimuth of the mirror. And so it'll be able to track the sun when it rises in the east till it falls in the west, and at every moment in time it's taking the sunlight and bouncing it inside the building to the concentrating mirror. The concentrating mirror then amplifies that light by about 5,000 times and focuses it inside this reactor where we're interested in doing chemical reactions. Inside that reactor, we'll be able to approach about 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's fascinating technology.
Absolutely, it's one of a kind.
And then I guess you could expand on that too, and I've heard that it is quite rare, especially for a university to have this. Is that correct?
It's rare for a university to have this type of a facility, but it's even more rare for a primarily undergraduate institution like Valparaiso University to have this facility. It's been a dream of Professor Palumbo's in our mechanical engineering department to have this facility. He headed up the facility at the Paul Scherr Institute in Switzerland for a number of years. And his dream was always to be able to come back here to the U.S. and have this facility to share with the students. Well, based on the great generosity of the Markowitz family, that dream has come true. And the skin is going on the outside of the building. It won't be long before that aluminum skin will be on there, and then they'll be adding some three-dimensional effects to the outside of the building. It's going to be very much an artistic sculpture, which I believe the campus folks will really love.
What has been the student involvement with the solar research facility?
The students have been very, very active. In fact, they've been working side by side with our faculty. With regard to the concentrating mirror, which has been installed, the students did the design, the analysis. They manufactured nearly 4,000 parts within Gellerson, and then they erected that concentrating mirror. So for people who peek through the front door and see that big mirror, that was done completely by our students. Our students have also been involved in the design of the heliostat, which is going to be on that cement concrete pad to the north of the building, but it's not there yet. That probably will be going in the spring of 2012. And then full commissioning of the system will be complete in the summer of 2012.
Well, it's very fascinating information that you brought to us, and even not being in the engineering, College of Engineering, I should say, just
Right.
Very, very fascinating. So thank you for your time, Dino, to bring this information to us.
Well, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, best of luck.
Just remember, I might run the College of Engineering, but it's also your College of Engineering as a Valparaiso University student, faculty, or staff. We're proud of it, and we hope you are too.
Well, we sure are. And thanks again. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And stay tuned because Pastor Charlene Cox is coming up next on the Crusader Conversation. Stay tuned.
I'm Molly, and I'm on VUTV.
We're from Kappa Kappa Gamma. We're on VUTV.
Hi, my name is Mike. I'm the WVUR General Manager, and I'm on VUTV.
We're always and we're on VUTV.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Aliana.
And we're on VUTV.
Hey, what's up? I'm Milk. And I'm Matt. We're on VUTV.
I'm Helen Dollin. I'm on VUTV.
Hi.
Hi.
My name's Claire.
My name's Sarah.
And we're on VUTV.
We're Kappa Delta and we're on VUTV.
I'm Rachel, and I'm on VUTV.
Hi, I'm Matthias.
I'm Hillary.
And I'm Philip.
And we're on
VUTV.
I'm Tom, and I'm on VUTV.
I'm Amanda, and I'm on VUTV.
Hey, I'm Ted, and I'm on VUTV.
We're Valparaiso Ultimate and we're on VUTV.
We're UPC, and we're on VUTV.
We're the Torch and we're on VUTV.
We're Delta Sigma Pi, and we're on VUTV. We're Student Senate, and we're on VUTV. We're Boombox, and we're on VUTV.
We're Alliance, and we're on VUTV.
We're the Crusader Pep Band, and we're on VUTV. We're Mesa, and we're on VUTV.
We're Handles and we're on VUTV.
Hello, I'm Kathleen, and I am with Housing Opportunities, and I am on VUTV.
Hi, we're the Lutheran Deaconess Association and we're on VUTV. We are Greek University and we're on VUTV.
I'm Zach Clark, and I'm on VUTV.
We're Sigma Phi Epsilon, and we're on VUTV.
Welcome back to the Crusader Conversation. Joining us now is University Pastor Charlene Cox, or just Pastor Char for short. And now we'll begin by just, I guess, reflection on this semester with being your first semester here at Valpo. How does it feel to finish out the semester and then also enter the busy Christmas season at the chapel?
It's been great. I can't really believe that it's December already. When I look at my calendar and look at the last number of months, I can't figure out where it's all gone, but it's been a really, really good semester. It's been a good start for me. I feel like I'm getting to know the university and settling in, and not everything feels brand new anymore, so that's really good. It's been a really good few months, and Vespers is upon us this weekend, and so I'm looking forward to that. That's really sort of my last big first to check off and say, okay, been through that, and I understand it's a really wonderful experience, so looking forward to that this weekend, and then this semester will be over and we'll be gearing up for next semester, so 5 months have gone by very quickly.
Sure has, and I guess we'll go back into your past, Pastor Char, and ask, where did you begin your career? And,
oh heavens, that's a long time ago.
Way
back to where I began. My first call, way back in 1991, was at a small congregation in central Minnesota, actually two congregations that were part of one parish, in a little town called Bruton, Minnesota. And from there spent several years in parish ministry, and then really sort of had the nudge in my heart to do what I had kind of always thought I wanted to do, and that was campus ministry. So I've been a pastor for 20 years, and 10 of those were in the parish, and 10 of those have been in various places in higher ed. Prior to coming here, the places I served in higher ed, I was at Illinois State in Normal, Illinois for a while. So served on the public side at Lutheran ministry at a public university. That was a whole lot of fun. And then most recently served at Waldorf College in Forest City, Iowa, and followed that at Grandview University in Des Moines, Iowa. So moved here from Des Moines last summer.
Excellent. And getting familiar with, of course, Valpo and then the surrounding areas. Now, been up to Chicago or anything like that? Is there anything that you enjoy visiting churches up there?
What we have enjoyed just the most in the area is going up to the lake.
Okay,
we like big water, and so being close to the lake has been a lot of fun. My children really enjoy that. We haven't made it to Chicago as much as we would like. We're kind of hoping to do that over the Christmas break, have some time, run up to Chicago and play around there some. But we like the proximity, so we know that it's there, that we can get there when we want to. And our church-wide headquarters are in Chicago. That's on my list to head up that direction. The ELCA is pretty interested in what's happening here at Valpo, so before too long, Brian Johnson and I will run up to Churchwide and have some conversations with the folks there about all the good things going on here.
Now, Pastor Shar, what attracts you to this job, not being a university pastor?
Well, this job in specific, I'm really excited, intrigued, and love the way it's going, working with the two different sides of the Lutheran house together. No place else in the world does that, especially not in higher education. And so having the ELCA ministry and the LCMS ministry that collaborate is just really exciting to me. So that's specifically Valpo. But in terms of ministry in general, I love working with college students. There's just something about those 18 to 22 to 25 years in your life that it's such a formative time. It's such a time of change and transition, and to see freshmen when they come into the university experience, and then to see them again when they're seniors, and the transformation literally that has happened in their lives is just phenomenal to be a part of. And Valpo is just such a unique place to be a part of that. The intra-Lutheran mix that this university brings into that dynamic of young adults' lives is just terrific.
And now explain what the Lutheran house is. I'm not familiar with that.
Within Lutheranism, we're not all the same. As the Lutheran Church spread throughout the world, and particularly in the United States, it was originally rooted in different ethnic traditions. There were Norwegian Lutherans, there were German Lutherans, there were Swedish Lutherans, and throughout the history of the Lutheran Church in this country, sometimes those groups have come together, sometimes they have spread apart. And right now, the two largest Lutheran denominations in the United States are the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, that's the tradition that I'm a part of, and the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. And on some things we theologically agree, and on some things we have different theological opinions. And in most places, we do not work together and collaborate in ministry. But here at Valpo we do, and that's really what sets us apart and makes us unique, that we have intentionally said, we're not going to be as an institution tied to any one of those denominations, but we're going to uplift and celebrate the best of both. And so Pastor Jim Wettstein serves in the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod, I serve in the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, and we really try to model that even though on some of the finer points of theology we might disagree, we can still collaborate, listen to each other, and really in the long run learn from each other. So it's really exciting.
Well, thanks for that explanation. I appreciate that. And now, turning to the chapel and what the chapel offers, can you begin by explaining the different services that the chapel offers, from chapel break services to the traditional Sunday morning Lutheran service?
Most people don't realize that in any given week during the academic year we have 8 worship services. So we'll start at Sunday morning and just move through the week. That might be the easiest way to think about it. Sunday morning is a fairly traditional high church Lutheran service. And what we mean by that is people wear vestments, there's a procession, we follow a formal liturgy. But what's really, really neat about that here is that other than the preaching and the presiding at the communion table, students do it all. And in my 5 months here, I can honestly say I have never seen students carry out a worship service like they can do here. They know what they're doing. In fact, when the bishop was here for my installation, he said, "Can I have these students come and train people all throughout my entire synod? I've never seen people lead worship like this." So if you're looking for a Sunday morning worship experience that has fairly sophisticated music, the organ lets loose on Sunday mornings, Sunday morning would be the place to be. Then we move to Sunday night, and Sunday night's candlelight. That's actually our largest student service. We average about 200 students that come to candlelight. It's about a 30-minute service. Lots of darkness. Each student has a candle to sort of hold against that darkness. A consistent rhythm that we follow. We sing the Magnificat, Mary's Song of Praise. We use the order of service that's hold an evening prayer, and then there's a scripture reading and a brief homily. I'm the primary preacher at that service, and I have to say in my 5 months here, that's one of the things that I have really, really enjoyed. Students, it's just fun to see students at 10 o'clock at night coming from all over campus for 30 minutes just to be together. Then we come to Monday morning. Monday morning at chapel break time, we have what's called the Taizé worship. Taizé is a community in France that has for years fostered and created contemplative service. And so if you're looking for a time just to come and really have some quiet, to sing some familiar songs and to have some prayer time, Monday morning would be the time for you. Tuesday, we have what's called the service of the word, and we usually have a preacher on that day. We've been looking this fall at different spiritual disciplines. How do you incorporate prayer into your life? How do you incorporate sacrifice into your life? How do you incorporate worship into your life? And we've had some really terrific speakers. There have been faculty members and students that have spoken, some staff members as well on Tuesdays. Wednesday is traditionally a fairly Again, fairly formal service. It's a matin service, morning prayer service, that actually grows out of the tradition of the Anglican Church. So it follows the same rhythm each week. Again, fairly sophisticated music. I can't sing it very well. So most days on Wednesday, I just enjoy being surrounded by the beautiful music. And that service is led again by different people. Several people from the music department actually come help us lead that service. Thursdays, we have explored different kinds of prayer and have really incorporated a lot of silence, and so have taken different pieces of scripture and have had some reflection time and silence in those 20 minutes, so that you know, in the busyness of our lives, whenever do we get to just sit and be quiet? Don't get to do that. Oh, and let me back up. I missed an important one. Wednesday night, Celebrate. Celebrate is the second largest student service on campus, about 150, 160 students that come. That's in Gloria Christi. Pastor Jim is the primary preacher at that. Very laid back, very informal, lots of wonderful contemporary Christian music by our praise band, which is really terrific. If you haven't heard the praise band, they're really, really good. And so if you're looking for a place just to really come as you are, Celebrate's the place to come with some really good music. And then Friday at chapel break time kind of mirrors Tuesday in that we've been looking at spiritual disciplines again. We've tried really to have student speakers on Friday, and the praise band plays on Friday. So end the week on a nice celebratory note with the praise band. So lots of variety, and what we really hope is that somewhere in all of that there'll be something that'll touch and feed the spirit of lots of different people. We don't want to do the same thing day after day. That wouldn't reach as many people as we want to reach.
It's a really booked schedule.
It's a full
chapel,
schedule,
that's
yes,
for sure.
it is, yes, it's a full schedule.
Now, if students need more individualized attention, or if they just want to come meet you or talk to you, how do they go about doing that, Pastor Shar?
Several ways to do that, and I love it when students just send an email. Can I talk to you? Can I stop by? And both Pastor Jim and I, our schedules really get booked with student appointments, and that's really the best part of our job. It's why we're here. Doesn't matter who you are, come find us, come talk to us. Easiest way to find me really is to shoot me an email. Both Pastor Jim and I, we try not to live in our offices unless we have an appointment. So if you just stop by the chapel, it might be kind of hit and miss. But if you send me an email, and that's easy, charlene.cox@valpo.edu, that's the easiest way to schedule an appointment in. And I usually try to get back with students within 24 hours. Because a lot of times when students want to talk to a pastor, there's something pretty heavy going on in their lives. So we really try to respond to those as quickly as we possibly can. And you can always find me on Facebook too. So that's an easy way to track me down as well.
You have the Facebook page.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Got to have that nowadays.
Absolutely, yes.
And now, what do you think the spiritual challenges facing college students are? As we have 1 minute left for our conversation. Time flies, that's for sure. But what are those challenges facing students?
I think the biggest challenge facing students is, what's my purpose? Where do I find meaning in this great, big, complicated world? Every student comes to college or university hoping that at the end of it all there's going to be a job. But that question of meaning and purpose is so much more significant than what's my paycheck going to be. And really that's a deep spiritual question, because it's a longing from deep inside. Why am I here? Why am I on this planet? And what does that mean for the living of my life in terms of, am I going to make a difference in anybody's life? And so I really think that whatever one's faith tradition is or spiritual tradition, that question of meaning and purpose is sort of like the heartbeat that pulses through the lives of students.
Well, I'm so glad to have you here on campus so that you can address those issues and also just enrich the student experience here at Valpo.
Well, I'm just absolutely delighted to be here. I love it here.
Well, enjoy the rest of the semester as we wrap up Vespers and all those exciting activities going on. Thanks, Pastor Shar. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. And if you have any story ideas, you can always send it to valpovutv@gmail.com. For all of us here at VUTV, I'm Brendan Kinney. Take care.